GAs, and welcome. Yes, another podcast tonight here from 42 South Road here in Watchet, your town crier, or my real title is The Bellman, and welcome. So, well, not so cold this week, just a little damper. Oh, there's some people there, I see. Oh, yes. Oh, hello everybody. That's all three. Welcome. Now, last week was Valentine's Day, so we've moved on a week. So maybe one or two love songs here. So, but I moved on and trying to sing some shanties and some four bitters and folk songs, and yeah, just to entertain you. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and Bojo's going to inform us tomorrow. And I won't mention that C word. So just hopefully there's a bright light tomorrow that there are people still got themselves not really gone out yet since this all kicked off. And I'm here to entertain you if you're out there in podcast land, if that's the right way for it. So, yes, so I'm going to sing some songs. And I have got some questions. I'll try and answer them. Hello, Sarah Norman. Well, she's Sarah Walsh now, but yes. Well, I've said that every week. But, hey, Sarah, it's not in my eyes yet, so I'm all right. I went for a cycle ride this morning. And the rain, it's put all the curls back in my hair. So it keeps it away from my eyes. So rain's the best stuff for conditioning your hair. So anyway, I'll just keep my hat on at the moment. Keeps it all in place. Now, the first one I'm going to sing, this is Sarah's daughter, Darcy. She's singing this at the moment. And there's been quite a few derivations of this song that has been on YouTube and on the telly. And that young Scots boy, that postman, fair play to him. And it's called Soon May the Whalerman Come. Well, I first heard this one about 3 years ago when the Kimbers men came down to Pebbles Tavern. They were superb. They were making their way down to see the Fisherman's Friends at the Minnock Theatre down at Land's End. So they're one of the top shanty groups in the country, if not in the world. They were really, really good. And allegedly one of their members was the man that got the word chariots that they were singing at England rugby matches. Swing low, sweet chariots. Well, he was one of the men that's supposed to have allegedly got that song going. Anyway, this is Soon May the Whalerman Come, and this is for you, Darcy Walsh. So here we go. There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy of Tea. The wind blew up her bow, did down. Oh, blow, my bully boys, blow. Soon may the whaleman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing's done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been at sea 2 weeks from shore, when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the whaleman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing's done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to side, harpoon fought her, and down the shiver she'd below. Soon may the whaleman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day with tonguing's done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was free. The captain's mind was not agreed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. He took that ship in tow. Soon may the whaleman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day the tonguing's done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack and tight once more. All boats were lost, there were only 4, but still that whale did go. Soon may the whaleman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing's done, we'll take our leave and go. As far as I've heard, the fight's still on, the line's not cut and the whale's not gone. The whaleman makes his irregular call to encourage the captain and crew and all. Soon may the whaleman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing's done, we'll take our leave and go. Soon may the whaleman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing's done, we'll take our leave and go. That's the first song I've repeated this year. So far I'm up to 78 different songs since the beginning of the year. So yes, the old brain's starting to get a little bit confused. Cheers, me dears. Her Majesty, I hope Prince Philip's okay there in hospital. I see Prince Charles visited him yesterday. So Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, get well soon from the bellman, your trusty loyal servant. Oh, yeah, I am his servant because I have to swear allegiance not only to the Wyndham family on when we have the courtly meets in October, the last Thursday in October. I swear allegiance to the Queen on the Bible. So help me God. So he's to do with the Queen, I believe. I think he's a father of most of her children. Oh, I'll get excommunicated now, won't I? So, yes, first question. Now, the first question I got from Edith is, have you always lived in Watchet? No, I haven't always lived in Watchet. I moved to Watchet when I was 21. And because it was, at the time, it was the only place we could afford to buy. Watchet's housing stock was limited, but hey, what a place to come and live. And I was born in Minehead, and I lived in Dunster for a couple of years, but I'm a man of West Somerset. So to say, yes, I'm out and out Watchet, I'm not. I support lots of things like cricket and football and other skittles. Yeah, I go all over the place in West Somerset. So I'm a West Somerset man. So yes, so I've not always lived here. So Edith, I hope that's answered your question. So the next song I'm going to sing is called The Figurehead Carver. Now, we raised some money for the tsunami victims. I think it was back just early into this century when they'd all been hit by that, that volcano or whatever it is, the landslip that broke and flooded all the Indonesia areas. And I think through the boat museum, we raised enough money to buy another 3 boats for the fishermen. So they always say, if you can teach a man to fish, you'll feed him forever. But if you give him fish, you only feed him for a day. So anyway, I'm digressing, going off at tangents, as I normally do. But this one's called The Old Figurehead Carver. And this is how it goes. I have done my share of carving figureheads of quaint design, for the olives and the ruddocks and the famous Black Bull line, brigantines, barks and clippers, brig schooners lithe and tall, but the bounding Marco Polo was the flower of them all. While my hands are steady, while my eyes are good, I will carve the music of the wind into the wood. I can see that white-winged clipper reeling under scattered clouds, tramping down a lazy skyline with a norther in her shrouds. I compare the lines of beauty, see her flecked with spume and brine, as she drives her scuppers under, and that figurehead of mine. While my hands are steady, while my eyes are good, I will carve the music of the wind into the wood. 'Twas a season pined I made it, clear from outer bark to coal, from the finest piece of timber, from the mast panned on straight shore. Every bite of axe or chisel, every ringing mallet welt out that block of timber, all the spirit that I felt. While my hands are steady, while my eyes are good, I will carve the music of the wind into the wood. I had read of Marco Polo, to his daring deeds of mine, and I'd say them all a-glowing in that balsed scent of pine. See his eyes light with purpose, facing every vagrant breeze. See his leading free and careless over all the 7 seas. While my hands are steady, while my eyes are good, I will carve the music of the wind into the wood. That was how I did my carving, beat of heart and stroke of hand, putting into life and action all the purpose that I planned. Flowing robes and wind-tossed tresses, forms of beauty, strength, design, I saw them all and tried to carve them in that figurehead of mine. While my hands are steady, while my eyes are good, I will carve the music of the wind into the wood. And when my hands are feeble, and my outward eyes grow dim, I will see again those clippers reeling o'er the ocean's rim, Great for white fleets of sailing rovers, wide above than surf beneath, with Marco Polo leading, with my carving in her teeth. While my hands are steady, while my eyes are good, I will carve the music of the wind into the wood. While my hands are steady, while my eyes are good, I will carve the music of the wind into the wood. This song's also known as the Marco Polo. But hey, there we are. There we are. So, yes. Cheers, me dears. I hope everybody's kept well and keeping all right. Nearly there. Nearly there. Not sure there's going to be any footballing watch it this year. So, anyway, that's for another day, that one. Now, my second question comes from Pete. And it is, what are your 2 favourite stone pieces? Now, that is very, 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 very difficult. Now, one of the first stones I ever carved was for my nan. And it's that vase. I did a vase out of alabaster. So that one has heartstrings to it. I did that for my nan, and she's no longer with us. But my favourite probably stones is these here. These are my favourite. These were the hardest I've ever done. If you could just see, there's one there, not him, that's me, one there, and one there. They probably collectively weigh about 2 ton, and they're the standing stones in the back of Esplanade Lane, which I carved, and I did a lot of the dress work to put the stones in the ground, and it's called the Seascape. So whoever come watch it, look up the Seascape, and those are my favourite stones. And I did do another group of stones called the Family, which I believe they're still out a place out Bicknoller, and they were all done at beautiful selenite. But yeah, to say I've got a favourite stone, probably the standing stones in Esplanade Lane. So I hope we've answered you that one, Peter. Now my next song, I sung this on the same evening. We're raising money for the tsunami victims, and when I finished singing it, a lady came up to me. She said, "Oh, you sung that well." I said, "Oh, thank you very much." She said, "But there was just one thing not quite right." And I said, "Oh, what's that?" She said, "You missed out a verse." "Did I?" She said, "Yes." She said, "I happen to know it because my husband wrote that song, and he's called Andy Barnes, and he was to my left." And I said, "Oh, hello, Andy. I didn't know you'd written this one. I learnt this one off the Dubliners." And he said, "No, I wrote that song. I wrote that song the day I met this lady, which is my wife, on the day I met her." So, and it's called The Last Great Whale, or The Last Great Leviathan. So I did sing it once at Sanford Brett, a ladies do, and I'm afraid I made a lady cry, because it is quite an emotional song. And yeah, it's called The Last Great Leviathan. My soul has been torn from me, and I am bleeding. My heart, it has been rent, and I am crying. All the beauty around me pales, and I am screaming. I am the last of the great whales, and I am dying. Last night I heard the cry of my last companion, the roar of the harpoon gun, and then I was alone. I thought of the days gone by, when we were thousands, but I know that I soon must die, the last Leviathan. This morning the sun did rise, crimson in the north sky. The ice was the colour of blood, and the winds they did sigh. I rose for to take that breath, it was my last one. From a roar came the sound of death, and then I was done. e'er since time began, we have been hunted. From the oceans that were our homes, we have been haunted by Inuits in canoes, two mighty whalers. Still you ignored our plea. No one came to save us. Oh, now that we're all gone, there's no more hunting. That big fellow is no more. There's no use lamenting. What race will be next in line? Oh, for the slaughter. The elephant or the seal, or your sons and daughters. My soul has been torn from me, and I am bleeding. My heart it has been rent, and I am crying. All the beauty around me pales, and I am screaming. I am the last of the great whales, and I am dying. The last great Leviathan. Yeah, Andy Barnes. So, there you are. Let's have a little bit more fun on this one. Oh, another question. So this is from Helen, and she wants to know the most interesting fact to me about Watch It. Well, I only came here when I was 21, and really, as I say, I didn't really know much about Watch It, that you drove past at Washford Cross with the aerials, and you looked over and you can see a chimney and a church. And that's all I knew about Watch It as a little boy. But when I got here, in 1989, well, I moved here in 79, but in 89 we had was it 86? I think it was 89. We had the Vikings came. And the reason why the Vikings came, we were celebrating 1,000 years of recorded history for Watch It. And the Vikings came in to take the silver penny from the mint. And the mint was here because we were one of the 9 burg forts for Alfred the Great. Alfred the Great, the only king ever to be called great in our country. In fact, the father of creating England, Alfred the Great. So, and he would have walked the streets of Watch It. Swain Street, Anglo-Saxon for swine. So Watch It, very, very, very old place. So yeah, that fact tickles me, that when I'm down Market Street or going up West Street, you know, because you go up West Street, you go up to Dawes Castle, which is supposed to be where the Saxon church was. And you got the Minster Field, where they found 40 odd bodies buried there. So yes, Alfred the Great. See, most people back in the day, in Alfred the Great's time, didn't go tramping over hills and dale. They actually travelled around the place by boat. You know, hence why he was so clever in using up through Glastonbury and the levels there, Alfred the Great. So anyway, I'm digressing, but I'm going to go for an Irish song now, and this one's called Whiskey in the Jar. So let's I have to take my hat off. It's getting a bit warm in here. I'm going to have to turn one of the heaters off too. It was a little bit cold last week. Yeah, I'm not so yellow now. So here we go. Whiskey in the Jar. As I was going over Kilgarry Mountain, I spied Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. First I drew me pistols, and then I drew me rapier, saying, stand and deliver, for I am your bold receiver. Mush-ring-a-ka-ding-a-ka-da, wackadoo-da-ka-day. Let's clear me rowdy-ho, there's whiskey in the jar. He counted out his money, it made a pretty penny. I put it in me pocket to take it home to my darling Jenny. She sighed and she swore she'd love me and never would deceive me. But that devil take that woman, for they always lie so easy. Mush-rung-wick-a-ding-a-ka-da-wack-a-day. What for, my daddy-o? There's whiskey in the jar. I went into my chamber, all for take a slumber, to dream of golden girls, and of course it was no wonder. Me Jenny took me charges, and she filled them up with water. called on Captain Farrell to get ready for the slaughter. Rushing, rackading, rackaday, rackadoo, daddle-day. What for, my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Next morning early, before I rose to travel, I came a band of footmen, likewise of Captain Farrell. I goes to draw me pistol, and she stole away my rapier. But a prisoner I was taken, I couldn't shoot the water. Mushing, rackading, rackada. What for, my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. They put me into jail, with a judge all in writing, for robbing Colonel Farrell was Kilgarry Mountain. But they did take me fists, and knocked the jailer down, and bid farewell to Tight Fist Town. Rishting, ring, da. Oh, got that one wrong. What for, my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I like to find me brother, the one who's in the army. Don't know where he's a station, but in Cork or in Killarney. Together we'll go a-roaming o'er the mountains of Kilkenny. And Oswell treat me fairer than my darling sporting Jenny. Mush ring, roo, raggana. What for, my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. There's someone takes delight in carriages, and rolling takes some delight in hurling, boiling. But I'll take delight in juice of the old beautiful barley, courting pretty maids in the morning, oh so dearly, oh so too dearly, I'm courting all those maids. Mush ring a doo da da da. What for, my daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Sorry to all Irishmen, didn't do a very good job of that. Hey, but I tried, and I'm here to entertain you. Right, and I'm going to sing one of my own songs, hopefully I'll get that right. This one is called Emma Louise, and it's one of the last ships to come in and out and watch it. And Minehead used to bring in the coal. And this is for Louise, for Wallace Kid, over there in Arizona, your daughter, lives just down the road from me, Louise. So, hey, this is for you. Cheers, me dears. And it's called the Emma Louise. Oh, my Emma Louise, she sails with the breeze, all out on the sea. In the night of my dreams, I can still taste the sea. Oh, my Emma Louise, as she sails with the breeze. She plied the west coast, that little sailboat, with coal and timber, as she flew like a bird. Oh, my Emma Louise, she sails with the breeze, does my Emma Louise. Let the wind fill her sails, as she heaves to and fro, in the storms and the gales, as we tack our way home. From Steer to Steep Home, she used to roam, on the sea and the foam, all out on her own. Oh, my Emma Louise, she sails with the breeze, does my Emma Louise. She's the last of her kind, and the end of the line, and she's seen better times with a hull full of lime. Oh, my Emma Louise, she sails with the breeze, does my Emma Louise. Let the wind fill her sails, as she heaves to and fro, in the storms and the gales, as we tack our way home. Now she's run aground in Appledore Sound, in the mud and the clay, that's where she lays. Oh, my Emma Louise, she sails with the breeze, does my Emma Louise. But I'm old and grey, and I can't sail away. I stand on the quay, and I yearn for the sea. Oh, my Emma Louise, she sails with the breeze, does my Emma Louise. Let the wind fill her sails as she heaves to and fro in the storms and the gales as we tack our way home. There's my Emma Louise. Emma Louise. There's a picture of the Emma Louise down outside the station at Minehead, with her tied up at in the harbour at Minehead. But I was very lucky. A man drew a picture of the Emma Louise and got her tied up against the West Quay and watch it. So thank you very much for that, Matt Varnish. Thank you. Cheers. Now, this is another one from an old sailing family of Watch It. And this one's old Ben's song. And I just maybe said before over this last year, I sung with Ben Norman. And he was the last man that I know of ever heard Yankee Jack sing. And I sung with Ben. So there's that kind of continuous, like someone's just put here, David. This is Raymond. Raymond said, David, do you belong to any shanty groups? Well, I don't belong to any shanty groups, but we have a meeting of shanty, well, people like-minded, singing folk songs, four bitters, shanties, and we meet in Pebbles Tavern, when it's open, on the third Tuesday of the month. And yeah, it's a good night. We start about 8:15 to 8:20, and we sing till closing time, which is 11 o'clock. But we did sing out on the quay nearly every Tuesday throughout the lockdown, the first lockdown, and on the West Quay, it was lovely. The acoustics fantastic. And the last two nights that we did was in the station underneath the canopy of the terminus of Watch It Station. So we did that for 2 weeks, and that was lovely. But hey, it's all on the weather, and yeah. So, but this is old sailing family of Watch It, Ben Norman. So, old Ben, tell me please of the things the harbour's seen. I'm too young to know. Old Ben, he tells me so. Herring and mackerel landed by the score. You can't net them anymore. I'm too young to know. Old Ben, he tells me so. And the ship sailed in and out with the tides. They carried Watch It's goods with pride. Ben has seen them fade and die. And I ask him, and he don't know why. They dug out iron ore from out the hills, shipped it off to the steel mills. I'm too young to know. Old Ben, he tells me so. They cut down oak trees to make pit props, but over there in Wales the mines have stopped. I'm too young to know. Old Ben, he tells me so. And the ship sailed in and out with the tides. They carried Watch It's goods with pride. Ben has seen them fade and die. And he asked me, and I don't know why. Stevedores out on the quay load the ship so eagerly. I'm too young to know. Old Ben, he tells me so. Where have all the people gone? They're only hearing my song, 'cause I do know of long ago. Old Ben Norman, he told me so. And the ship sailed in and out with the tides. They carried Watch It's goods with pride. Ben has seen them fade and die. And I asked him, and he don't know why. And the ship sailed in and out with the tides. They carried Watch It's goods with pride. Ben has seen them fade and die. And I ask you, can you tell me why? Yes, the docks is changing. We're going to have a art installation on the East Quay, and hopefully the marina will get sorted. And Watch It be a buzzing place in the summer. People to come here and spend their shillings and have a good time, because I think this summer is going to be a bit of a staycation for the nation. Staycation for the nation. You heard it here first. Staycation for the nation. Right, so I'm going to sing another old song. And this one's called Fountains Flowing. And it's a little bit interesting. It's sung to the tune of He Who Would Valiant Be. So it's a church song. But probably this words were probably to the tune before He Would Valiant Be was put in the church. The church, do you believe it or not, usurped a lot of songs from the sailors. And I'll tell you a fact. Watch It was very welcoming for all the sailors here, not because of the women, but our churches here were very liberal. And if they went down Minehead, they weren't allowed to do this and they weren't allowed to do that, and you couldn't do this and couldn't do that. But when they come watch it, our church has been very liberal, that they were very welcome. And if you want to do this and you want to do that, you're very welcome. That's why Watch It was such a really important port, and the sailors loved coming here. Not because there's lots of pubs here, but hey, maybe that's another thing, eh? But this is what Fiona Payne told me, so I'm only telling you what Fiona Payne said. So here we go. Let's go for this one. Our captain, all hands to sail tomorrow, leaving my dear morn to grief and sorrow. Dry up those bridey tears and leave off all weeping, so happy we may be at our next meeting. How can you go abroad fighting for strangers? You do well to stay at home, free from all dangers. You courted me a while, just to deceive me. Now my poor heart you've won, you're bound to leave me. Down on the ground she fell, like one as dying, all tearing of her hair, weeping and sighing. There's no believing one, not o'er your own brother. So girls, if you must love, love one another. I say goodbye, my dear father and mother. I am your only son, I have no brother. But don't ye weep for me, for I am going to everlasting joy and fountains flowing. Yes, bit of a strange one that, but that's the song. Now this song is one of my favourites that's crept up on me over the years, and I'll tell you a story of this. Cheers. I was with a friend of mine. We were in the Esplanade Club bar at the time, and it was a diddly-dee night, and a man just come in from out the blue on a Wednesday night. He had a banjo. Oh my goodness, can he play that banjo? He picked it. He picked that, not strummed it. He really picked it. And it was fantastic. And he came over and sat right next to us, and he sung us this song. And it's called Her Bright Smile Haunts Me Still. And it blew us away. And I thought, that's a lovely song. He said, well, I've got it on a CD. And true to the man's word, he said, oh, send down to here and you can pick up the CD in a couple of weeks' time. And true to his word, he did. And my friend still got the CD. But it's called Her Bright Smile Haunts Me Still. It's been a year since last we met. We may never meet again. I have struggled to forget, but the struggle was in vain. And for her voice lives on the breeze, her spirit comes at will, in the midnight on the sea. Her bright smile haunts me still. In the midnight on the sea, her bright smile haunts me still. I have sailed the falling skies, I have charted hazard's path, I have seen the storm arise, like a giant in his wrath. Every danger I have known, that a reckless life can fill, though her presence has now flown, her bright smile haunts me still. Though her presence has now flown, her bright smile haunts me still. In the first sweet dawn of light, I gaze upon the deep, and her form still creates my sight, while the stars their vigil keep. And when I close my aching eyes, sweet dreams of memories fill, and from when sleep I arise, her bright smile haunts me still. And from when sleep when I arise, her bright smile haunts me still. And from when sleep when I arise, her bright smile haunts me still. Right, I have another question here, which is ghost story. Which is my favourite ghost story? Well, you have to come round on one of my walks and talks round, watch it, and I'll tell you some of the ghost stories and the unusual, the strange. And one is about an apparition that was seen by several men on a ship crossing the Atlantic in about 1956. So, but that, you'll have to come on one of my talks, and where the black dog runs, or the black dogs run in, watch it, and the Morgan baby. Now that's another day, another story. Well, and the Duchess of Donniford. So yeah, you'll have to come on one of my walks to find out about my ghost stories, and have been passed down. So a lot of these stories aren't written down, have been passed down by the families, and one of them was also by the editor of the Free Press at the time, Jack Hurley. So, and there was another guy there at the time, Martin Hest, a noted reporter in our area. But I'm going to sing this one to finish the evening off. I've done 35 minutes, and I'd just like to say thanks very much. Maybe I didn't sing so well tonight, but hey, you can't get it right every time. But hey, at least I try, and I've entertained you. But this is one I sung on the harbour early on when we had the lockdown, and the acoustics were fantastic, and I was very fortunate. A friend of mine actually recorded it, and we all sung, and this one's called Amazing Grace. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. 'Twas blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils and snares, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe thus far, and grace will lead us home. When we've been here 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, with no lesser days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. boys and girls, thank you for watching and listening. Cheers, me dears. One more song to sing. The sailing ships are in the bay. Bye bye, my Rosianna. All loaded down with fishermen. I won't be home tomorrow. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye, my Rosianna. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. I won't be home tomorrow. We're outward bound at break of day. Bye bye, my Rosianna. Around the Horns a very long way. I won't be home tomorrow. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye, my Rosianna. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. I won't be home tomorrow. Oh, Rosianne, my sweet darling child. Bye bye, my Rosianna. Oh, Rosianne, my sweet darling child. I won't be home tomorrow. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. Bye bye, my Rosianna. Bye 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 bye. Bye 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 bye. I won't be home tomorrow. Well, boys and girls, take care of each other. Be tolerant of each other. Steady on the bell. May your God go with you. God bless you. And yeah, hopefully see you next week. Next month, St. Patrick's Day. So I'm doing Irish night. I got quite a few Irish songs. So I'm just keeping them back ready for St. Patrick's night. God bless you all. And we'll see you very again soon. Steady on the bell now.